The best way that you could possibly bond with your wife when something stressful is happening is to listen. Listen in a curious way and ask her more about what she thinks about it. Don't come in and try to problem solve unless she asks you to. Literally express curiosity like you would with a friend. With a friend, you would not be able to rush in there and tell your friend to, for example, quit his job if he doesn't like working and it's that stressful. That probably wouldn't be something you would say to your friend if your friend complained about his boss. But guys say this to their wives like all the time. Like, why don't you just quit? Well, I mean, things aren't really that easy. That job is part of their self-concept, right? And it makes them feel good when things are going well. Certainly, quitting might be one option, but how about expressing curiosity about how she feels about the job, what it really means to her, what's her long-term trajectory look like in the job, what does she particularly like about it? Things like that would be better.
Okay, fam, let me explain something about this particular train of thought that most women have. Ladies, you've got to understand, men are not women. They don't think like women. And you go to them with a story wanting to be one way, you're going to find your man is not going to treat you like your girlfriends. What I mean, the example in this video, which is common, is that women go to their men with a woe is me story. They expect men to answer with a, oh, that is so tough. There type reaction. The problem with this isn't the men. It's you ladies expecting a man not to be a man. What a man is going to do is his duty by helping you stop being stressed. He isn't going to search his fifis to try to convince you to stay unhappy. If he said quit the job, he knows it means he will have to support you until you find a better one. Ladies, instead of trying to change a man into a type of just listen to my problems without solving them female substitute soy boy, why don't you do your part and understand his role as the provider? If you want sympathy for an issue you don't want resolved, talk to your girlfriends. Let me put it this way. If your man doesn't talk to you like he does other men, it's because he understands you are a woman. Why is it so hard for all of you to understand he is a man?
Yes, I am so sorry. You don't even know how sorry I am. I'm just being honest.
Moving on.
Why I hesitate dating men with kids, part 375. I didn't say I don't date them. I just say I hesitate. Child support. And it's not for the obvious reason. It's for reasons y'all don't think about. Never forget this. So when I was growing up, my mama was with her husband. Her husband ended up cheating on her with this lady. My mama divorced her husband. The lady that he had cheated on her with married her ex-husband, right? Okay, so my mama backdoor and put him on child support. That lady had to pay that child support. Not only did they take money out the lady check, they took her taxes. I remember a $4,000 check coming to our house, and we had a time with that damn check, and guess who money it came from? The wife's pocket. You see what I'm saying? And of course my mama not gonna give the money back because she petty. Like, you wanted to sleep with my husband, now you gotta pay, literally. I don't know about y'all, but my ego will not allow me to just sit there and marry a man that I love, even if I love him. Marry a man that I love. And the thought of having a female taking my money that I cannot and her kikiing and haha with her friends about how stupid I am to marry her baby daddy, and she taking my money. Oh, Lord. And I mean, yeah, you could try to take the mama to court and try to get custody of the baby, but the court system is set up in the favor of the mother. So good luck with that. Good luck with that. Is stuck paying the money.
And this right here is the exact same scenario men in the US and most Western countries face when they marry single mothers. Ladies, I'm not bashing single moms in the least. This is a woman stating an obvious financial danger that she would refuse to get herself into. But how often do women use shaming language to get men to date and marry single moms? Okay, there's no hiding the thirsty beta imp chump epidemic in the West that drives them to pick up the cost for a previously split taco shell injected with Chad/Tyrone seed. Got it.
The thirst always wins.
But ladies, if this were your sons, you would be extremely hesitant of him getting himself into a situation this young queen explained in this video. Let me switch this up to explain it better to my female viewers, and hopefully this can help those of my male viewers who are thinking of putting a ring on a woman who already has a puppy. Imagine you fall for a woman so hard that you accept her kids like your own. You spend your hard-earned money on the rascals, you grow very attached to them, and after being the dad filler in this slapped-together family for, say, 7 years, that incredibly strong single mom that you helped out packs her bags, and decides to head out the door because she deserves better. Her Fifis told her so. Also, she had been secretly sleeping with the baby daddy and decided she's going to give it another shot with him. Well, not just are you the sucker who paid the original Plowers bill, you have no legal rights to the Rugrats you bonded with. But hey, single moms deserve love. Chumps deserve what they get. Moving on.
If you're ever talking to a guy who claims to have some status, some money, maybe he has both those things, but he's under the radar, he's very low key, you don't really know about him, but somehow you find yourself on a date with this man, okay? Let's name him Bill, shall we? And so you're talking to Bill, and Bill knows that you know Mark, and he knows that Mark is very well known in your city, in your town, wherever the fuck you guys are at, or just like in the world maybe, who knows? And so he starts name dropping these big guys, these heavy hitters. And you, in fact, do know that those guys are heavy hitters because they do have that exposure and that status, generally maybe in your town, in your city. And so he starts name dropping them, and he starts telling you stories about how he like runs in the same circle as them, and he knows them, and he's done work with them. And what he is doing, first of all, red flag. What he is doing is he's trying to leverage those men, their status and their money, and the fact that he thinks you're probably impressed by that, to now make you impressed by him.
Oof, that is some strong self-snitching. Let me get this straight. She is complaining because a guy who was able to read some possible clout-chasing energy from her and played the name-dropping card was able to finesse the situation to his advantage. Damn, that guy showed some Pokemon Master Trainer skills right there. If it wasn't evident that this tactic was effective, this queen would even mention it. Hey, clout is an effective aphrodisiac on a lot of women. And for as much as women will say it's about the chemistry or the energy, or as they put it, the vibes, yeah, all that goes out the window if Bad Bunny, Drake, Chris Evans, or Michael B. Jordan roll up. Those dripping female undies are gonna be sliding down faster than a Winter Olympic skier going for the gold, if given the chance.
Oh, behave.
He thinks that somehow that those two things are going to correlate, that those two things are going to add up, and I'm going to tell you it doesn't. It certainly does. What it does is name dropping is weak, weird, nobody insecure energy, because a confident man or a confident person in general does not need to name drop, because name dropping is distasteful as and anybody with etiquette and manners knows that. So immediately he's crossed off. Immediately no. He thinks you're dumb enough to believe him and his lies, because 9 out of 10 times it's a lie. It's a lie. He's not telling the truth. Adios, amigo.
Immediately, now he is crossed off. What exactly happened before she found out the name-dropping tactic was a lie? She didn't investigate that provoked this type of reaction in her. There's no way to actually tell, but if she was able to catch on to the Pokemon trainer's lie before he threw his Pokeballs at her, then why go through the trouble of making this video? I mean, ladies, if you made a video for every lie that didn't go anywhere, then you would just about crash every video sharing platform on the internet. Or maybe I'm reading too much into this dating advice and letting my imagination come up with some guerrilla jungle experience BS.
I don't believe I heard you correctly.
Moving on.
I have been single for 5.5 years. I date, I meet people, but I haven't really met anyone that I'm like you. It's really interesting to see how people sort of respond in the sense that they go, oh, you're so pretty, or you're so da-da-da-da, as if that is the basis for all relationships. I don't blame people for thinking like that really, because it's almost impossible to escape. I would definitely say one of the biggest things I actually learned was how I would use the idea of who I wanted to meet as some sort of savior to my life. I don't necessarily mean the sort of like knight in shining armor type of scenario. I just mean like I would think that they were going to be the thing that brought everything together. Again, is a pretty easy thing to understand where that comes from. One thing that became quite telling for me was how I would always sort of have this dream of who I wanted somebody to be, or look at them for their potential rather than looking at them for who they actually are. Yeah, that was definitely one of the hardest cycles to break.
Pretty is not the basis of all relationships, but to ignore the fact that a woman's attractiveness heavily influences both the amount and type of men she will get approached by is ridiculous to say the least. I'm sorry, but there is a reason the layers of petroleum plaster she is applying in this video is a $500 billion plus industry. And looking at a man's potential is basic female mating instincts. It's an attraction point for many women because they want to make sure the guy they will choose to have children with is a safe bet to be a good provider long term. That is a very intelligent mating strategy, and it's been proven time and again. I mean, just look at how many broke single moms are desperately calling child support services to get money from the Chad/Tyrone pump and dump roster results.
Emotional damage.
Ladies, I'm not saying don't go out there and get your backs blown out. I am saying if you are okay with getting your taco filled up with sour cream from Community D, then don't be shocked when those checks from the State Disbursement Department are small, few, and far in between.
Whatever.
I would say it was one of the hardest. Oh no. And I would actually say that was one of the hardest, things to look at where that was actually rooted in. Because I, without a doubt, used the idea of who I wanted them to be to help save me from so many other things that I actually had to confront in life. That's actually a pretty complicated thing, but maybe I'll go through it another time. Overall, a big part of it was fully acknowledging that the person that I am going to be partnered with in life isn't necessarily going to be the perfect person for me in the way that I want them to be. I think a lot of this actually comes down to understanding our needs and what we are actually looking for in relationships. Overall, I just realized that I wasn't looking at relationships or dating for the person. I was looking at it for the potential or for this perfection. Again, we're not so much taught about the relationship itself as much as we are taught about how it should look or just the fact that we need to get one. I just find it funny how being single has taught me more about relationships than being in a relationship ever did.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
She said being single has taught me more about relationships than being in relationships ever did. To her, that's literally saying that theory will teach you more than actual experience, which is on par with what a good percentage of those gender studies degrees would agree with. How about this radical idea that has been passed down since the dawn of human civilization? Experience is the best teacher. I got it that this queen rode the don't settle gravy train down to the last station, but at some point, if she wants any form of a relationship, she's gonna have to accept the fact that mistakes will be made by both men and women. It's called life, sweetheart, and if you aren't careful, it's gonna pass you by no matter how much self-love BS you want to sprinkle into these online rant videos.
Now that's a lot of damage.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.